Jiggy cat on a damn killer spree. This is Nagato, and you can't mimic my energy. 100 rounds drawn and me hanging like a centipede. Hello everyone, this is Nagato Revenge, and I hope you guys are having a great day for today. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be showcasing on how to convert a PlayStation 3 game folder into a PS3 ISO file that you can use via Multiman or Webman. With that being stated out the way as well, please be sure to follow my social media so you know the latest hacking guides and tutorials from my channel. And as well, if you do want to get in touch with me in any shape or form, or you need help with something, or you just want to meet new people from the hacking scene, you could go ahead and join my official Discord right here. I'll have a link in the description below, or you could go ahead and just type in the URL link as shown in the screen and join via that way. And as well, if you do want to support my channel in any shape or form, you can feel free to donate via my PayPal. And usually with stuff that goes via for donations for me, it'll be stuff for the channel, so it'll allow me to buy equipment and other devices I could use to teach y'all guys for anything via with the PS3, PS4, and such and forth like that. But with all that being stated out the way, we could go ahead and get started on the prerequisites and things you'll need for this video, of course. So first things first, you need a modded PlayStation 3 that is on custom firmware, any PS3 game of your choice that is in a folder format. As well, you need the latest version of Multiman or Webman. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing the Multiman method of this, but the Webman method is the same process. As well, you need to use a FileZilla FTP client, and I do recommend this via this way, since most PS3 games are over the 4GB plus size. So for example, I'm going to be using J-Stars, and that's under 4GB. But however, if you're trying to do a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 or any of the Call of Duties, or basically any PS3 game, because usually they are above that 4GB rate, you need to do FileZilla FTP client, unless you do plan on splitting your games onto your USB via that way. As well, you need a USB stick that is formatted to FAT32 if you don't have Multiman already installed on your PS3. So if you do have Multiman, you can kind of skip that step. If not, just follow along with that process. And last but not least, you need the PS3 ISO 2 version 1.98, and it's basically an exe on your Windows PC that basically converts the folder to an ISO file, which is the whole purpose of this video. With that being stated as well, just to showcase on the screen, this is how a PS3 folder should look like. So it should have it's these type of contents in it. So it should have a PS3 underscore disk .sfb file, should also have the PS3 update folder, and as well it should have the PS3 underscore game, and that's where like all the contents of the actual game and trophy and like the param.sfo is in that folder as well. Just before I get done with the whole process of this intro, I do want to state some tips and reminders for this process. So if your game, as I stated, is under 4GB, then you can just transfer your game to your FAT32 USB. So in my case, my game is under 4GB. That means I could just transfer it over via my FAT32 USB. But if it's not, you either have to split it as stated before, or you got to transfer via with FileZilla FTP client or any FTP client of your choice. And as I stated as well, depending on FileZilla FTP client, transferring can take a long time depending on how big the game is. So as stated here, games like Grand Theft Auto 5 or any of the Call of Duties may take longer, as opposed to games like mine's, for example, J-Stars. It will take longer to transfer from your PC to your PS3. And also it depends on your internet speeds. I'll have a link in the description below, or probably a card right now in the video, on how to kind of bypass that if you have an Ethernet cable that just directly connects from your PC or maybe your laptop to your PS3. And that way using FileZilla FTP client is actually way faster than possibly a USB transfer as well. And I'll have that in a link in the description below to check out that video. But with that being stated out the way, I just want to give a special thanks out to my fans and supporters, and as well I just want to give a special thanks to the developer for making this PS3 tools exe so we could utilize this for the whole scene. With all that stuff getting out the way, we could go ahead and get started on the PC portion of this tutorial, so meet you guys there. Alrighty guys, so assuming that you did follow all the prerequisites as stated in the intro, we could go ahead and get started on the PC portion of this tutorial. So as showcased here, I have my J-Stark's Victory VS Plus game, and yes, I do own this game actually as via a disc, so I just dumped it from an ISO, so I didn't get this offline. But this is how your game should be formatted and how it should look in a folder. So for example, if your folder is not formatted like this when you get it, like with the PS3 underscore game, and it has your icon 0 PNG, your pick one PNG, and it has your trophy data right here and stuff like that, and it also has your PS3 underscore update right here, that folder as well, and PS3 underscore disk .sfb. What you need to do is just go ahead and put all your these contents into one folder and then label it with your game name. So for example, all my content is in one folder, and then I have my actual game name, and as shown here, this is what the end product should look like. And if you use WinRAR for example and just open it up via this way, you could compare and contrast that this is the same content and is just packed into an ISO format, so you could play this via from your PS3. But what I'm going to do here right now is just delete this off my desktop, and what we're going to do is just showcase on how to basically take this folder and then convert it to an ISO. So the program I'm going to be using is called PS3 underscore ISO tools. It will be in a .zip file. I'll have a link in the description below, of course, for those respective files, so you could download that to your desktop on your PC. But it's very simple on how to do this. So you have a bunch of files right here. The first thing what we want to do is go into PS3 underscore ISO, and then you'll get this little menu. So it has like a bunch of options. So what we're going to be focused on is creating an ISO. If you wanted to like split an ISO to fit on FAT32 devices, let's say you already have an ISO file like Grand Theft Auto 5 that is like 25 gigabytes or whatever, you could go ahead and split that up into 4 pieces so it could fit all onto your FAT32 USB, and then you could run your game via like that. And as well, there's other stuff like you could join it. So if it's split, you can join the split files. If you want to extract the ISO content to a file format, aka like a folder, you can do that as well. But the one what we're going to be focusing on is to create it. So we're just going to go to the first option, create ISO. If you want to go ahead and split your ISO, so for example, let's say if you have a FAT32 USB drive that is 64 gigabytes and your game is 25 gigabytes and you want to split all your files, you can go ahead and make sure that this is toggled on. Of course, if you want to rename your ISO file and the ID and the parent.sfo, so let's say if you wanted a custom title or maybe something with special characters as well, so if you wanted to like Grand Theft Auto 5 to show up on your PS3 as like, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 6 for whatever reason, you could do that as well. But I'm not gonna go through any of these options. It's pretty self-explanatory, but all you would have to do is just go ahead and hit continue, and then what we need to do is to go ahead and browse for our folder. So as shown here is my game folder right now, and it showcases all of the content. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over that one and then hit OK, and then it's just going to say browse for a directory where we want to dump those ISO contents. So I just want to do it on my desktop since it's easier for you guys to see it via that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK, and then via from here, what's happening right now is basically it's just generating the ISO. So it may take a little while depending on the file size of the game. So for example, if it's Call of Duty Black Ops or something like that, it's going to take a long time, but for me it won't take as long. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pause the video via right here and then come back once that process is. Hello guys, it's me Nagato. Did you enjoy this video so far? If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for my channel for more daily content just like this. Thank you guys for watching. Alright guys, so once the full process has fully finished, you'll basically get this ISO tool log that will state your game name, also the size of the folder, and then the actual size of the ISO. So as shown here, it tells you basically that the whole process is done. So of course, depending on how big your game is, it will determine how long this process takes. So you could just go ahead and exit this out right here, and then you'll get another little mini window that says converting done. So make sure you see this little notification first before before you transfer any file over, such as your game of choice, due to the fact that you don't want to transfer over a corrupt ISO and waste your time doing that, since PS3 gaming sizes are usually big. So you could just go ahead and hit OK from here, and then just close out of the PlayStation 3 ISO tools. And now if you see here, I have my full ISO right here, and then I also have the game via right here. That's both the same size. So here's the ISO that we're going to be transferring over, and since my ISO, as stated before, is under 4 gigabytes, I can transfer this to my USB that's on FAT32. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you on how to do that via with FileZilla, with this method right here. So just one quick thing before I start transferring over files as well, just to show something cool. If you have a WinRAR basically on your PC, you could kind of check that the same contents, if you remember from the actual folder, are just packed into this ISO. So basically think of an ISO as a .zip file. So as shown here, here's all of our folder contents that we converted to an ISO. And then if we look in with WinRAR, or you could use just any ISO builder, it will show the contents of your game. So what I'm going to do now is just close that out, and then what we're going to do now is go ahead and open up our USB drive. So go ahead and make sure to plug that in, and we're going to go ahead and check if our USB drive is formatted to FAT32. So I'm going to go to my properties by right clicking over my USB drive, and as shown here, I'm already on FAT32. Let's say if your thing is on exFAT or NTFS, what you need to do is just go ahead and right click over this one via right here, go into format, and then where it says file system at, if it's on NTFS or exFAT, just make sure you toggle it to FAT32. Where it says your allocation unit size, just go ahead and hit default allocation size. Your volume label, it really doesn't matter, that's what you just name your USB drive. And then you can go ahead and make sure that this is toggle on via for a quick format, and then just go ahead and hit start. But before you guys hit OK, if you do have any important items or documents, make sure to back that up via to your desktop or to another USB drive. And that's the general consensus with that, since anytime formatting your USB drive, it will basically wipe the drive clean of all of its data. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this out since I'm already on FAT32, but if not, just do what the following steps I just stated. And then from here, what we're going to do is go ahead and transfer our Multiman, unless you already have it installed, to your PS3. So go ahead and just transfer that file over via right here. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and exit this out, go to this window right here, right click, and then we're going to safely eject our USB drive. It's always a good thing to do that. I still have a tendency to just rip out the USB drive from my PC, but that could create corrupted files. So what we're going to do now is go ahead into basically Multiman. We're going to get our FTP server started up via that method, and then as well we're going to go ahead and try to play our game. So meet you guys back onto the PlayStation 3. Alright guys, so we're back onto the PlayStation 3. What we need to do now is go ahead and install Multiman. So I already have it installed on my PlayStation 3, but I'm going to still show you guys on how to do that. So first things first, make sure your USB is in your PS3. And now what you want to do is go into Package Manager as shown here. Go down to the second option where it says Install Package Files. And then you want to go to the third option right here. And then you should see your Multiman PKG file, the one that we just transferred over to our PC. Since I already have it, I just got to reinstall it just to showcase that via here. And then once that process is fully done, what we're going to do is just go ahead and boot into Multiman. As well, before we go into Multiman, please be sure to have your network already activated for this process. So make sure your Wi-Fi is on, since we're going to be transferring over our files and we need to have our IP to be showcased onto the screen. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and boot into Multiman. Alrighty guys, so as shown here, we're basically right back into Multiman. If you look all the way down at the right hand corner, or basically I should say the left hand corner, where it states PS3 IP, your IP will be of course different from mine. What we need to do is just remember that IP, make sure your screen is still activated and you're not doing anything in a Multiman, so just leave your PS3 on standby. But what we need to do now is go take our IP and go to our PC and then type that in FileZilla FTP Client so it can transfer our game of choice. So that's what I'm going to be doing here right in a second, so I'll meet you guys on the PC for that portion of this tutorial. Alrighty guys, so as shown here, I'm basically on FileZilla FTP Client. I'll have a link in the description below on how to download this as well, but as stated here, what we need to do is just go ahead and type in our PS3's IP. Yours will be different from mine, but for example, it should just be a 4-digit thing, so you got to just type in this or whatever your IP is and then just go ahead and hit OK. If everything should work out fine for your end, what you need to do is go ahead and go into dev_hdd0 and you should see all of your directories as well. So you need to go into dev_hdd0, and then if you don't have a folder called PS3 ISO, go ahead and make one in FileZilla FTP Client. If you don't know how to do that, all you got to do is just right click over it, anything in FileZilla FTP Client, and then where it says create directory and enter it, all you would have to do is just type in PS3 ISO in all caps just like that, and then you'll have that folder. So once you have that folder via into dev_hdd0 and this is your hard drive, what we need to do is just go into that folder right here, and then what we need to do is just transfer our game of choice. So here is JStar's Victory VS Plus, the ISO, and then right now if I go into right here, you can see my ISO is transferring over. Now your speeds will vary depending on what you're doing, so since I have my PS3 connected directly to my PC via with an Ethernet cord, and as I stated, I do recommend if you do have a Ethernet cord somewhere in your house to do this method, since it's much faster, basically preferred than Wi-Fi, because if you use Wi-Fi it may take a little longer. But if you have an Ethernet cable directly ported from your PS3 to PC, your transferring will be faster. And since if your game is like 25 gigabytes like GTA 5 or something like that, you may want to go that route, since transfer speeds are not that long. So what I'm going to do right now guys is just pause the video right here and wait for this process to be done, and then once JStar's Victory VS Plus ISO, it will be in this PS3 ISO folder. So I'll meet you guys once that process is fully finished.
A few moments later.
Alrighty guys, so as shown here, if I go into my successful transfers, you can see that JStar successfully transferred over from my PC to my PlayStation 3, and as shown here, it's in my PS3 ISO folder. So if we just go back out of it and then go into it, you can clearly see the game is in here, and you can also check the file size, which is the same size of the game that we just transferred from the PC. So what we need to do now is go ahead and back out of FileZilla FTP Client. We don't need to do this anymore, and then from here we could go to our PlayStation 3 to Multiman, and then we could go ahead and try to run our game of choice. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'll meet you guys back onto the PlayStation 3. Alrighty, so as shown here, we're back into Multiman. Now you probably won't see our game since we haven't refreshed it, so what we need to do is just go into our games column right here, go into X, and then as you see here, here's JStar's Victory VS Plus. So all we would have to do is just go ahead and plus our X on it just to run the game, and then it will mount it to our PS3's XMB. So that's what I'm going to do here right now. And once you get booted out of Multiman, as shown here, here is JStar's Victory VS Plus, and right now we're just going to go ahead and start the game. And as shown here guys, basically the game is just installing its little update, or basically it's just installing some information to the hard drive. But as shown here, you could basically see the game running in full time without the PS3 disc. So that's one of the benefits of doing this method as well. So if you do have like a large hard drive on your PlayStation 3, or you're using an external HDD device and you want to play your games on just from that method, you can, and it's a pretty cool thing to learn this tool. So what I'm going to do here right quick is just chop the segment of the video, and then I'm just going to show a little quick playthrough just to showcase that this process fully works, and I'm not trying to waste your time or scam you in any shape or form. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So as shown here right now, basically here is the game running via the PlayStation 3, and let me just go ahead and hover over so you can tell that I'm on the PlayStation 3 and it's running in real time. But yeah, that's essentially on how you do the full process for this. So if you do have any questions on how to set this up, or you need any help, you could go ahead and either comment down below, or you could join my Discord server, which is where I'm mostly active at. And then if you have any questions, you could go ahead and ask it there. But with that being said, my name is Nagato and I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Of course, I love the llamas. Nice and silky smooth.